transportation sector, locally, nationally, and globally, has been hammered very hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. The truth is, even as the economy starts to rebound from coronavirus, the transportation sector is going to be hit very hard and for a long time into the future. In this report, we look at how planes, trains, and buses will be impacted.
We are now living through the darkest period ever in the history of commercial aviation. No adjectives can adequately describe the pandemic's effect upon our economy, nor can numbers fully quantify the extent of the financial devastation the global airline industry is experiencing. For Air Canada, the pandemic and government-imposed travel restrictions have ended a run of 27 consecutive quarters of revenue growth. Our solid January and February results, despite early weakness in China, gave us every encouragement that this performance would continue until the sudden and catastrophic onset of COVID-19 in Europe and North America in early March. Significantly worse than the aftermaths of 9/11, SARS, or the 2008 global financial crisis. Our EBITDA collapsed in the quarter by more than $500 million. On a GAAP basis, we reported an operating loss of $433 million. So while 3 short months ago, we celebrated record results, this quarter we are reporting deep losses with worse to come in Q2 and Q3. The majority of our employees have been furloughed. Revenue has all but evaporated. The majority of our fleet is grounded, and we're operating less than 5% of 2019 capacity.
The message is similar at Porter Airlines and at WestJet, where years of profitability and route expansion has now hit the wall with COVID-19. It is expected that WestJet will be furloughing and laying off more people, and Porter Airlines is hoping now to fly by the end of June 2020. COVID-19 has hammered the companies in the aviation business. If there is a bright spot, perhaps it's here in Ontario, with Ontario Northland Transportation planning to expand out into the Thunder Bay area. This is a long-expected move, and here we've got Minister Greg Rickford and the CEO of Ontario Northland talking about the arrangements.
Business case to come to Thunder Bay will pay for itself, but the investment that the taxpayers make in ONTC should be reflected in their ability to access parts of northwestern Ontario. That's what today is really all about.
Well, we've been providing transportation services for over 100 years, and so our depth of knowledge and skill set to provide and connect communities in the north is second to none. And so the province is really committed to expanding and integrating various services and came to us for a business case, as government does, as an agency of the government. And we were proud and happy to provide that information so that we could do this expansion. Yes, we've procured more buses to expand this service, we're going to, as Greg mentioned too, we're going to be working so that we can really optimize our buses and integrate private carriers in some of the routes that we are already in to make a more integrated solution that supports the small businesses in these smaller communities.
When you speak about integrating the service, so a customer, say for example, getting on a private carrier, buying a ticket, say wanting to go to Ottawa, are they going to be able to do it in one shot? So
let me give you a good example. We provide service in Manitoulin Island, we provide services in Elliott Lake, and both of those are integrated with private carriers. So you go onto our Ontario Northland website to purchase a ticket, and you get a ticket from either Manitoulin Island or Elliott Lake, but that integration from that community out to our bus spine is their service. Customers don't realize that. It's just a seamless integration, so they can go from their home in Elliott Lake all the way to Ottawa with one seamless ticket. So that's what we're looking for, and that's really what, when you look at it from the perspective of the passenger, which is what we've really tried to do and really get more close to what their needs are with Wi-Fi and entertainment solutions. That's when we see that it works so well with these private carriers, and we're hoping to expand that model as well.
Yeah.
The letters that we got said we've never been able to take the bus and not been, people would have to take them out of their wheelchair, and it's the dignity.
Well, look, I mean, just seeing this gives me goosebumps, Karina, right?
Yeah.
Like, take a look at an opportunity for people with accessibility challenges now can get on the bus with everybody else. Yeah. That's the way it should be, right? Exactly. In modern society, that's what we strive for.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Look at this beautiful white bathroom too. It's a place you could actually...
Joining us by phone is Kasper Rovinescu, the CEO and president of Kasper Transportation, a bus line that operates from the Greenstone area right to Winnipeg with routes into Sioux Lookout and down into Fort Frances. Kasper, welcome to Net News Ledger.
Hey, how you doing, James? Hope you're okay.
Well, we're working and it's a long weekend, so I don't know how that is, at least though we're working. Kasper, one of the questions we want to ask you is that since Kasper Transportation suspended service in early May, what is the company doing to move forward post-COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, unfortunately, we had to suspend our service on May 2nd. Our sales have dropped significantly, not allowing us to continue at a break-even point. We understand that many other businesses are facing challenges under COVID-19 era. And over the coming months, Kasper Transportation is going to have to redesign our schedules and routes to align with Ontario Northland Transportation and other bus companies and work towards restarting our operations in a post-COVID-19 era. We also realize that the transition in transportation, there's going to take some time. It's going to be fairly slow to come back to previous levels. There may be other changes necessary that we still have to consider. However, we're confident we can achieve those targets in the coming months, and we feel that we can strengthen our relationships with our existing customers and work towards being a better company. Our team has reached out to the local politicians like Ministry of Health Patty Hajdu, Marcus Pavlovsky, Judith Montefiore, Ontario Ministers Caroline Mulroney and Greg Rickford. And we've been talking to FedNor and seeking federal support under the new program they have announced. We are reaching out to 62 of our corporate customers to work with them on how we can service and meet their needs in a post-COVID-19 era. We also do provide courier services for many agencies that require urgent temperature-controlled transportation. We are looking at every possible way to find ways to strengthen our company and position ourselves for the future.
Thank you for that. That sort of helps a little bit. Now, Kasper, what do you see Ontario Northland Transportation's new service as doing to impact the region?
Well, I want to congratulate Ministry of Transportation Caroline Mulroney and Minister Greg Rickford and the Ontario government on a first good step. It's only a good first step. The ONTC expansion from Southern Ontario west towards Northern Ontario is a long expected move, but it's just a start. We have had 20,000 customers last year, and about 19,000 of those customers are excluded from this new service, this new route. Majority of our customers are not going to be serviced at this point and will go out without intercommunity bus service if we're not able to service them. We are a Northern Ontario-based solution. Kasper Transportation is a Thunder Bay company. It all started in Thunder Bay. It's all been created by Thunder Bay people. It's important that the local community and the government, politicians and administrators support local solutions because we understand the local problems and we have a personal connection with the region and the people we service. The very unfortunate part is that with this announcement, communities like Greenstone, Geraldton, Beardmore, Long Lac, Red Lake, Pickle Lake, Fort Frances, Atikokan, Mishkeguming, all will be left without service. Those communities are the ones that need it because there's a population there that does not have other means of transportation and there's no airlines going into those communities or not frequently enough. We need to make sure that all of us can win, not just some of us. It's important that in this post-COVID-19 era that all these people have access to essential services. And if they don't have us or ONTC or whoever provide it, they're going to end up not being winners, or you can say, unfortunately, become losers in this whole situation.
Kind of a final question, a little bit different, Kasper. We've been working together on different things in the media for years. We've done a lot of interviews. You always are adamant about being an entrepreneur. What does being an entrepreneur mean to you, and how would you like to explain that to our viewers and readers?
Well, being an entrepreneur means that I'm a problem solver. What I did is I wanted to solve the transportation problem because people in the community have told me they had a problem with airlines back in the day, and now it was buses. We play a key role because we're able to do things quicker and efficiently, and that's the job entrepreneurs play in the economy. Elon Musk, one of the best examples of an entrepreneur, has created new industries to solve problems and move technology forward, like SpaceX, Tesla, and Solar City. Being an entrepreneur means taking a lot of risk, and it's often a bumpy ride at some of the roads in Northern Ontario. For me, solving a problem via private business is critical because we're able to move quicker than most politicians, administrators can move. Now, we can still work together. We get things done. I'm not an engineer. I'm the guy that goes and gets it done, executes on it, boots on the ground, and we get things going like a bus company, like we did back in the day. We still have a problem right now because ONTC is only solving 10% of the problem that we have had. We've been talking with them back and forth for many months right now, and we've made it very clear what is the demand in the region. We've been trying to explain the demand in the Greenstone area, Suluco, Fort Francis, and that those communities represent 90% of the traffic. 19,000 people in the last 12 months came from those communities, and right now they're being excluded from the existing bus network going to Winnipeg. Unfortunately, that bus network is interfering with our ability to function because we need a commitment from the federal or provincial government with these new realities like COVID-19 to be able to stay in business. Now, we don't want to compete with Ontario Northland. We think they're servicing a trans-Canada market. And right now we have not had much communication back and forth on how we can work together. I've tried my best to talk to them. I tried my best to set up our routes going forward so that we can feed their traffic and they can help us vice versa. It is imperative that the ministry goes ahead and solves the problem 150% themselves, or they continue working with entrepreneurs. And we are the best ones in the region to do that. We are already established, already have vehicles in place. We already have experience front desk administration. We have the booking system, we have the exact same booking system as ONTC. So we do need to get a phone call so we can keep working together. I am not upset about this. I'm just upset that there's going to be a lot of customers that are not going to get serviced in this. And I have a very bad feeling that the existing announcement is going to be used as a justification that the government and the Ontario government has done enough for the region. Well, it's just a good start. Let's finish the job. Let's make sure we get all the resources we need and we don't just get a small fraction of what's required to allow the bus industry to function properly. A lot of businesses in Thunder Bay depend on traffic that comes in on the bus. Same with Kenora. Hotels, restaurants, social services, education. All these people need to come here. Minister Rickford himself has acknowledged the importance of bus service. But let's not forget about all these other communities. And that's what I'm angry about. I'm angry that all these people are going to end up getting a bad deal. I am more than happy to move on to solving new problems, but I cannot do that until all these communities get the service they deserve. The way we did it is we did it with private funding. We did it with our own resources. And there's only so much you can do with private resources. So if the government's willing to help, great. If they're not willing to help, then at least let us do our job going forward. That's all we're asking for. Let us do our job, work with us, or just agree to do it all yourself.
Kasper, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Have a good rest of the week. I would say happy Monday, but as I'm hearing from many people, including Minister of Health Haju, who says it's almost starting to feel like every day is Wednesday. This is James with Net News Ledger. Stay tuned and stay safe.
Thanks, James. We'll talk to you soon, hopefully.
The transportation story continues with Via Rail, where shutdowns and suspension of service is now the norm. The company will be requiring help to start up. This is James reporting from Net News Ledger from Thunder Bay, Ontario, the heart of Canada. And, hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you are subscribed to us. Keep up to date on what's going on, and we promise Northwestern Ontario to keep you in the information loop.